Hello, this is Yana from SocialPeta. I'm going to share with you what's going on in media buying of mobile strategy games last season. I have to mention that the report is based on our intelligence tool SocialPeta, which provides big data for decision on advertising. We collect ads data on a global scale by sampling and have already accumulated over 700 million ads data, with millions of data updated every day. Okay, let's start now. First, I'm going to talk something about strategy games. We know some successful strategy games like COC and COK have retained its popularity in recent years and frequently be seen in the game charts in China and the US. Strategy game has been among the most profitable game genres. Tracing its origin, Koei released the first standalone strategy game, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, in 1985. Upon its release, the game received a lot of praise, winning first place as well as Reader's Choice Awards in the BHS Awards the same year. Early strategy games in the East emphasized its characters, while resources were highlighted in Europe and America. With the introduction of European and American games to China, and China's strategy games to enter the European and American markets, the difference between the two markets began to narrow. To date, the core gameplay of strategy games has been split into two types, COK and non-COK. Yet, with strategy games evolving, new gameplay and new content will be constantly added. Perhaps one day, it will evolve to a whole new height that offers more riveting psychological and intellectual experience. Next, based on SocialPeta's big data, we will have analysis of the strategy game market and advertising in China and the US in last season, including market overview, top leading advertisers, advertiser analysis, network analysis, and case study. Let's look at the US first. This chart shows the top countries in strategy game downloads and revenues. The US has the largest share of the global strategy game market. The North American market has an eye-catching magnitude, and the Asian market, represented by Japan, is on its heels. In addition, European countries are not strong separately, but together, they add up to about 40% of the US share. The US market has three characteristics. First, the market is mature. Large market size, users with good payment habits and good taste, and higher demands on developer strengths. Second, the charts are static. Due to the long-term operation, the average lifetime of higher rankers is nearly 2 years. Another thing is Chinese developers occupy about 10% of the US top 100 bestsellers. Third, fantasy is the most popular theme, accounting for about 43.9% of all games, followed by history like The Three Kingdoms, with science fiction as the tail ender. Judging from the investment in advertising, Q1 sees heavy investments made by World on Fire, Age of Z, Mafia City, Keys of War, and Rise of Kingdoms. The deduplicated ad creative quantity averaging up to 700. The main distribution networks concentrated on Facebook, Audience Network, Instagram, and Google Ads. If we take a closer look at the strategies and performance of advertisers, we can find more interesting details. Taking Rise of Kingdoms as an example, this game is mainly advertised on Google Ads, Audience Network, and Facebook. Google Ads has the largest creative quantity of this game, with over 200 pieces of creative fetched at most in a single day. Most of the ads are in video form, while image creative is rarely used. Unlike in China, Strategy game creative in the US prefers dynamic forms, such as video or HTML. We found in SocialPeta that the game fluctuated a lot in the bestseller charts, but remained among the top 50 in the US market for most of the time, experiencing 7 times version updates and scoring around 4.5 in Q1. Given Rise of Kingdoms' nice performance, we might wonder what creative ads it has used to good effect. On the left is a 6-month-long image ad campaign that shows architectural styles of different countries. Yes, we all know construction is a fascinating element in strategy games. This ad has 4 million estimated impressions. On the right is a video ad. Let's watch it first.
Hey, check out this new guy. He seems pretty legit. Let's make an alliance and start trading right away. Alright dude, I'm gonna send you a lot of resources. This should help you. Check it out. Check out all those resources. Holy crap, barbarians! Come on man, you gotta help me out. I just sent you everything I got. So you gotta send all your troops over. We're gonna take them out. Damn, look at all those T3s. Best alliance ever.
Rise of Kingdoms. Download for free.
This video shows the gameplay of Alliance and combat. It looks quite like gameplay, but is obviously possessed. With the eloquent commentary, it makes us eager to play. That's all for our in-depth analysis of advertisers. Let's turn our eyes to advertising networks. This time, we mainly analyze strategy game statistics on Google Ads. According to SocialPeta, these 5 games are the most popular strategy game advertisers on Google Ads, all making great efforts in creative advertising. All the advertisers except the 5th ranker have around 1,500 pieces of creative fetched. There are a variety of themes, including Asian wars, zombies, battleships, and Western cowboys. The 5th ranker West game is a Chinese developer's product, and also the youngest game in the charts. In this network, the proportion of all kinds of game is relatively stable. The most popular ad creatives are puzzle and entertainment, which account for about 50% of the total amount of ad creatives in this network. Strategy game is ranked 5th, averaging about 9%, up to 10.5% at the end of February. Strategy games account for about 12% of the top 100 game advertisers on this network. Not high in share, but hot in popularity. We can see in the SocialPeta that most strategy game creative on this network has performed well, with the most popular creative coming from the Imperial Warship. At the end of our US analysis, let's watch a few excellent ads together. These 3 image ads we see on Facebook are respectively designed from the angles of siege, combat, and strength comparison. All have run for a long time, with millions of impressions. We can infer that these kinds of creative ads can make conversions very effective. Then let's check the video ads. This one from Invasion is worth mentioning. It seems to be a false ad for strategy game. But how so? Strategy games, due to the unique gameplay, have a limited number of players. But strategy game players' portrait has no big difference from other games' audience. In the North American market, for example, the PUBG audience is similar with the strategy game audience, so a creative like PUBG can help the game acquire users fast. The next one is a more classic case of video advertising. It simulates the gameplay of real-time strategy combat. The words at the top of the video, "This game says no to pay to run," also hits the user's fancy. Okay, that's all for the US market. Now, let's look at another huge strategy game market, China. In 2019, China had around 50 million mobile strategy gamers, making up 12% of all mobile gamers. Despite the modest share of mobile strategy games, the stable game attributes and game habits of early core players can support its sustainable development in the future. Over the past 5 years, China's strategy game revenues have been growing year by year, but due to the adjustment of the game approval policy, the growth suddenly slowed down in 2018. Many high-quality strategy games are starting out overseas and then returning to China. At this time, we must not only learn from the previous experience abroad, but also make a success of local operation. In addition, advertising is indispensable, but compound marketing helps the retention rate, which is beneficial to the long-term operation of strategy games. Let's look at the strong performance in Chinese market. In advertising budget, Q1 sees heavy investments made by Romance of the Three Kingdoms, 乱世王者, Immortal Conquest, 深蓝战舰, and 装甲警戒, and a diverse trend in marketing networks, including Baidu, NetEase, TopBuzz, Tencent, BuzzVideo, and etc. Romance of the Three Kingdoms undoubtedly takes the lead. Why don't we have a closer look at this game? In terms of advertising strategy, image creative makes up around 80% of ad creative. NetEase News is the primary advertising network, with its creative more than twice that of secondary Baidu. The game has maintained its spot in the top 5 of the iOS bestsellers recently, scoring around 4.5 with a lot of 5-star reviews. The highest number of single-day downloads was around 26,000, and the highest single-day revenue was about 1.5 million in Q1. Then, let's find out what great creative ads this game has used. The image ad on the left, with the slogan mainly focused on nostalgia, is very attractive to the old players. The video ad on the right features the celebrity effect, with Chinese culture and historical celebrity Gao Xiaosong invited to recommend this game.
靖哥，一盟骑兵冲过来了，有点强啊，要不要充点钱？
且慢，成年人多动脑，换上枪兵，克死他们。5大兵种，一物降一物，《三国志》战略版，输赢靠脑，靠钱。
光荣正版高晓松利剑，《三国志》战略版今日公测。
That's all for our in-depth analysis of this game. Let's put our eyes on advertising networks. Baidu, as China's Google, is one of the most frequently used networks for game advertisers in China. According to SocialPeta, the most popular strategy game advertisers on Baidu are all war games, 4 of Ancient Battlefield, and 1 of Modern Warfare. Among these most popular advertisers on Baidu, the top one is 乱世王者, with a total of 740 pieces of creative fetched in Q1, when these advertisers are viewed separately, the percentage of impressions of image creative is always higher than that of video creative, and all the games also have a background of history or well-known stories. Role-playing games had the highest share of the creative on this network in the first half of Q1, but at the end of February, strategy game creative increased sharply, reaching the top position on the network, accounting for more than 30%, whereas action and card games have the poorest share, totaling less than 10% of the creative. Among the top 10 game advertisers on this network, 3 seats are taken by strategy games, namely 乱世王者, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and 帝国警戒. Another interesting phenomenon is the recent surge in entertainment creative. The top 1 game on this network is Ocean Fortune from 2U, along with 2 other fishing games in the top 10. At the end of our China analysis, I will also bring you a few excellent strategy game creative ads. These 3 image ads have been running for over a year. One thing they have in common is that they all embody the construction gameplay. Strategy game lovers will know it at a glance. We can infer that such creative will yield a higher retention rate. As for video ads, let's first see a case from TikTok, a short video platform that has emerged in China in recent years. Creative on the short video network is characterized by fast pace and strong personality. It needs to engage users in the first 5 seconds or less for them to continue watching the game content. Online pop elements are also favored by this kind of creative.
你以为的率土之滨，收集资源，集结军队，扩充领土。真实的率土之滨。
225万格超大地图任你驰骋，无日常，无剧情，无副本，每个人都在玩策略，搞战术，角色扮演，当盟主领千军，当内奸抢风云，当流浪军劫四方，率土之滨，全是戏精。
And this is the last case we share this time. It comes from 乱世王者, one of the most promoted games of Tencent. This ad uses 2 very classic creative elements, level up and seizing territory. The ad rolls at a cracking pace and looks very exquisite to the eye. It is compellingly attractive. I'm gonna end up here. All the data I shared today are from SocialPeta. If you have any questions about the data or our services, you can leave a message or log on to socialpeta.com to apply for trial. Thank you for listening.